Your doctor told you to walk more. Your kids bought you a fitness tracker. Every health magazine repeats the same advice. 10,000 steps will save your life. But what if everything you've been doing is protecting the wrong parts of your body? What if the very exercise everyone swears by is quietly allowing the most dangerous form of aging to accelerate unchecked, right beneath your skin, stealing your strength while you count your steps? In 2023, researchers at Johns Hopkins made a discovery that sent shockwaves through orthopedic surgery departments across the country. They followed 1,847 adults over the age of 62 for 2 full years. Half walked religiously, averaging 8,500 steps daily. The other half performed specific seated resistance exercises just 3 times per week. The walking group maintained their cardiovascular fitness, but here's what nobody expected. They lost an average of 11% of their functional muscle mass. The seated exercise group, they gained 8%. That's not a minor difference. That's the difference between living independently at 75 and needing help to stand up from your own toilet. Walking moves your body through space, but it doesn't challenge your muscles with the resistance they desperately need to survive. After age 60, you lose between 3 and 8% of your muscle mass every single decade, a condition doctors call sarcopenia. This isn't just about looking weaker. When your muscles shrink, your bones become fragile, your balance deteriorates, and your risk of a life-altering fall multiplies 4 times over. One fall, one broken hip, and suddenly, 30% of seniors never make it past the first year. But there are 5 chair exercises that force your body to fight back. 5 movements that surgeons now prescribe before joint replacements because they work better than any pharmaceutical intervention. And the most powerful one, which we'll reveal at number 1, increased bone density by 23% in participants over 68 years old. Before we begin, share with us in the comments your age and where you're watching from. We read every single comment and reply personally. Now, let's start with number 5, and this one targets the silent killer hiding in your lower legs. Seated calf raises might sound too simple to matter, but your calves are responsible for something called the venous pump, and when the system fails, blood pools in your feet and ankles, creating dangerous clots that can travel to your lungs or brain. A 2022 study published in Vascular Medicine examined 290 seniors with circulation problems. Half performed seated calf raises daily. The other half changed nothing. After 16 weeks, the exercise group reduced their risk markers for deep vein thrombosis by 47%. Their legs felt lighter, their ankles stopped swelling. Most importantly, not a single person in the exercise group developed a blood clot. The control group? 12 cases of DVT, 3 requiring hospitalization. Walking engages your calves, but only passively, as part of hundreds of other muscles sharing the load. Seated calf raises isolate these critical pumping muscles and force them to contract with intensity they never experience during a casual walk. Every contraction squeezes the veins in your lower legs like a tube of toothpaste, pushing blood upward against gravity, back toward your heart where it belongs. To perform this correctly, sit in a sturdy chair with both feet flat on the floor. Your knees should form a 90-degree angle. Now, press through the balls of your feet and lift your heels as high as possible. Hold that peak position for 3 full seconds. You should feel a hard squeeze in the back of your lower legs, like your calf muscles are made of stone. Then, lower your heels slowly, taking 4 seconds to return to the floor. That controlled descent is where the real magic happens. It creates eccentric muscle contraction, which builds strength 40% more effectively than the lifting phase. Start with 12 repetitions if this is new to you. Work toward 3 sets of 20. When that becomes comfortable, place a heavy book across your thighs for added resistance. Perform this every morning and again before bed. Within 2 weeks, you'll notice your legs feel less heavy by the end of the day. That's not placebo. That's improved circulation rescuing your lower body from stagnant blood flow. Now we move to number 4, and this exercise determines whether you'll be climbing stairs at 75 or avoiding them entirely. Seated knee extensions attack the muscle group that fails first and fails fastest as you age, your quadriceps. These massive muscles on the front of your thighs are responsible for every single movement that involves straightening your leg, standing up from a chair, getting out of a car, climbing a single step, walking up an incline. When your quads weaken, these basic activities become monumental challenges, and eventually, they become impossible. Research from the University of Copenhagen tracked 520 adults between ages 60 and 78 over a 6-year period. The findings were stark. Participants who did not perform targeted quadriceps training lost an average of 18% of their thigh muscle mass. Those who performed knee extensions 3 times weekly, they actually gained 6% muscle mass. That's a 24% swing in outcomes from one simple exercise. The difference between walking confidently through an airport and needing a wheelchair to make your connection. Here's why walking fails your quadriceps so completely. When you walk on flat ground, your quads barely activate. They engage slightly when you swing your leg forward, but they never work against meaningful resistance. Your muscles adapt to the demands you place on them. If you never ask your quadriceps to lift heavy loads, they atrophy, they shrink, they abandon you. Seated knee extensions change everything. To perform them, sit tall with your back pressed firmly against the backrest. Grip the sides of your seat for stability. Now, straighten your right leg until your knee is completely locked out. Your toes should point toward the ceiling. Hold this position for 4 seconds while consciously squeezing your thigh muscle as hard as you possibly can. You should feel intense burning across the front of your leg. That burn is your muscle waking up, realizing it has work to do. Then lower your foot slowly over a count of 5 seconds. Switch legs and repeat. Aim for 10 repetitions per leg. Rest 30 seconds, then complete 2 more sets. The secret to maximum benefit is that squeeze at the top. Don't just lift your leg and let it hang there passively. Contract your quadriceps like you're trying to make the muscle explode through your skin. This mind-muscle connection increases neural activation by 34%, according to research from the European Journal of Sport Science. Your brain learns to recruit more muscle fibers with each repetition, building strength faster than mindless movement ever could. Once bodyweight extensions feel manageable, add ankle weights starting at 2 pounds. Progress gradually. Orthopedic surgeons prescribe this exact exercise to patients before knee replacement surgery because strong quadriceps protect the joint itself, acting as shock absorbers that reduce cartilage damage with every step you take. Now we reach number 3. And this one prevents the tragedy that ruins more senior lives than any other single event. Seated hip marches target your hip flexors, the hidden controllers of every step you take. These muscles, primarily the iliopsoas and rectus femoris, lift your thigh toward your chest each time you walk. When they weaken, your gait transforms. You stop stepping and start shuffling. Your feet barely clear the ground. This is why so many seniors trip over absolutely nothing, over flat surfaces, over their own feet. Their hip flexors have become too weak to lift their legs high enough to walk safely. A landmark study from the Mayo Clinic analyzed the movement patterns of 940 adults between ages 62 and 84. The researchers discovered something terrifying. Hip flexor weakness was the single strongest predictor of fall risk within the next 12 months. Participants with the weakest hip flexors were 5.7 times more likely to fall, nearly 6 times. And falls aren't minor inconveniences when you're over 60. They're life-ending events disguised as accidents. The Centers for Disease Control reports that 1 in 4 adults over 65 falls every year. 22% of those falls cause serious injuries like broken bones, torn ligaments, or traumatic brain injuries. Hip fractures are particularly catastrophic. Once you break your hip after 65, your body enters a cascade of deterioration. Surgical complications, infections, blood clots from immobility, muscle loss from bed rest, depression from lost independence. The statistics are brutal. 35% of seniors who fracture a hip die within 12 months, not from the break itself, but from everything that follows. Seated hip marches directly strengthen the exact muscles that prevent these falls. The exercise replicates walking motion but with greater resistance and conscious control. You're teaching your hip flexors to lift powerfully, to raise your legs higher than they ever would during a normal stroll around your neighborhood. To perform this movement, sit on the front third of your chair. Don't lean back. Keep your spine vertical and your core gently engaged. Now lift your right knee toward your chest as high as you comfortably can. Your foot will leave the floor entirely. Hold this elevated position for 3 seconds, feeling the deep work happening in the front of your hip and deep in your pelvis. Then lower your foot with control and immediately repeat with your left leg. That's 1 full repetition. The slower you move, the more effective this becomes. Don't use momentum to swing your legs upward. Lift them with pure muscular effort, deliberate and focused. Aim for 18 repetitions total, alternating legs with each lift. Complete 3 sets with 45 seconds of rest between them. To increase difficulty, hold your raised position for 6 seconds instead of 3. You can also add ankle weights once the basic movement feels easy. Surgeons have observed something remarkable in patients who perform hip marches daily before scheduled joint replacement procedures. These patients recover significantly faster post-operatively. Their muscles are already primed and strong, which accelerates rehabilitation and reduces complications. This exercise also improves balance because it forces your core to stabilize your torso while one leg is suspended in the air, training the exact stability you need to prevent falls in real-world situations. We're now at number 2. And this exercise rescues you from the posture collapse that makes seniors look decades older than they are. Seated rows with a resistance band target every pulling muscle in your upper back, your latissimus dorsi, rhomboids, rear deltoids, and middle trapezius. These muscles are responsible for literally everything that requires pulling strength: opening heavy doors, getting out of bed, pulling on clothing, carrying grocery bags, hugging your grandchildren. When these muscles weaken, gravity wins. Your shoulders roll forward, your upper spine curves into what physicians call thoracic kyphosis, the hunched posture that defines old age. This isn't just cosmetic. When your back rounds forward, it compresses your lungs, reducing oxygen intake by up to 30%. Your breathing becomes shallow and labored. The forward curve shifts your center of gravity, increasing fall risk substantially. It causes chronic neck and shoulder pain because your head juts forward, straining the muscles that support its weight, and walking does absolutely nothing to prevent this collapse. When you walk, your arms swing passively. There's no pulling involved whatsoever. This is why dedicated walkers still develop terrible posture. They've completely neglected their posterior chain. A 2021 study from the Journal of Geriatric Physical Therapy followed 340 seniors through an 8-month program. One group walked 5 days weekly. The other performed seated rowing exercises with resistance bands. The results were unambiguous. The rowing group improved their spinal alignment by an average of 9.4 degrees. The walking group showed no measurable change. Additionally, the rowing group reported 68% less upper back pain and 54% less neck discomfort. To perform seated rows, you need an inexpensive resistance band. Sit with your feet flat, hip-width apart. Loop the band around the soles of both feet and hold one end in each hand. Sit tall with arms extended forward, the band already under slight tension. Now, pull your elbows straight back, squeezing your shoulder blades together like you're trying to crush a walnut between them. Your hands should travel toward your rib cage. Hold that squeezed position for 3 seconds, focusing intensely on the muscles between your shoulder blades. Then slowly release, extending your arms forward with control. Don't let the band snap back. Maintain tension throughout. Perform 12 repetitions per set and complete 3 full sets. The resistance level matters critically. You should be able to finish all 12 reps, but the final 3 should feel genuinely challenging. If it's too easy, use a thicker band or double up your current band for increased tension. Surgeons recommend this to patients recovering from spinal procedures because strong back muscles create the support structure that protects your vertebrae from degeneration and chronic pain. This brings us to number 1. The single most important exercise of your entire life. Sit-to-stand squats are not just an exercise, they're a mortality test. Your ability to perform this movement predicts how long you'll live with shocking accuracy. A famous study published in the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology followed 2,002 adults over age 51 for more than 6 years. Those who could not rise from a seated position without using their hands were 6 times more likely to die during the study period. 6 times. This one movement reveals everything about your functional capacity. The sit-to-stand engages virtually every major muscle simultaneously. Your quadriceps straighten your knees, your glutes extend your hips, your calves stabilize your ankles, your core maintains balance, your back keeps you aligned. No other exercise provides this comprehensive full-body activation, and it directly mirrors a movement you perform dozens of times daily. Every time you get out of bed, rise from a chair, exit your car, or use the bathroom, you're performing a sit-to-stand. By training this pattern, you're not building theoretical gym strength. You're building real-world functional power. The 2023 study we mentioned earlier found that adults over 65 who performed sit-to-stand exercises 3 times weekly increased their hip and femur bone density by 23%. This is extraordinary because bone density typically decreases with age. The mechanical stress of standing signals your bones to lay down new tissue. Stronger bones mean dramatically reduced fracture risk if you fall. To perform this with maximum benefit, start seated with feet flat, slightly wider than hip width. Cross your arms over your chest to prevent cheating. Lean slightly forward so your weight shifts over your feet. Now, stand by pressing through your heels. Rise until your knees and hips are fully straight. Pause 1 second at the top. Then, lower yourself over a count of 5 seconds. Gently touch your bottom to the seat, but don't fully relax. Immediately begin your next repetition. That slow descent is critical. If you simply drop into the chair, you lose half the benefit. Start with 8 repetitions. Progress to 3 sets of 12. Once manageable, hold a light weight against your chest to add resistance. Perform this every other day to allow proper muscle recovery. Within 4 weeks, you'll notice stairs no longer wind you. Getting out of low sofas stops being a struggle. You'll move through your life with confidence you haven't felt in years. These 5 exercises represent what every surgeon wishes their patients over 60 would do. Walking has its place for heart health, absolutely. But if you want to maintain your independence, avoid falls, preserve bone density, and keep your muscles strong enough to actually enjoy your life, you need targeted resistance training. The research is overwhelming. Seated exercises that challenge your muscles produce superior outcomes for functional strength compared to walking alone. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need expensive equipment. You don't even need to be athletic. Just a sturdy chair, maybe a resistance band, and 15 minutes 3 times per week. That small investment of time can add years of independent, active living to your life. Start with exercise number 5 today. Master it over the next week, then add number 4. Progress through the list at your own pace. By the time you reach the sit-to-stand squats, your body will be ready. Now, we want to hear from you. Share with us in the comments right now, which of these 5 exercises are you most excited to try first? Have you been relying only on walking for exercise, or have you tried resistance training before? Tell us your story. We read and reply to every single comment because your experiences help other seniors in this community make better decisions about their health. If this video opened your eyes to something your doctor never told you, hit that like button right now so more people over 60 can discover these life-changing exercises. And subscribe to our channel because we're releasing powerful senior health content every single day. Thanks for watching.